Hi, my name is Nick,
My name is Anthony.
and today we chose to talk about Malcolm X, and we're going to do a podcast type interview. The reason we chose this topic is because everyone talks about Martin Luther King Jr., but never Malcolm X. And we wanted to show Malcolm X's ideals and strategies to get freedom and rights to the African American community. He was born in 1925 and was assassinated on February 21st, 1965, by three gunmen. He made many contributions to the black community, such as founding the Organization of African American Unity, and the organization fought for human rights and promoted unity within the black community. Today, Malcolm X is very influential, and um, his ideals inspired people to fight for human rights and equality. So we're going to get into the interview. Question 1. Can you describe your early life and the circumstances that shape your views on race and identity?
My early life was marked by violence, poverty, and a systemic racism. I grew up in a society that constantly reminded me of my inferior status as a black person.
Okay. Question 2. What led you to the Nation of Islam, and did it influence your beliefs and activism?
I joined the Nation of Islam because it offered a message of self empowerment and pride. It gave me a sense of purpose and identity that I never had felt before.
Okay. Interesting. Question 3. Can you explain your advocacy for black separatism and self-determination within the United States?
Black separatism was a Nation of Islam's core belief, and I wholeheartedly supported the idea that black people should control their own destinies and create their own institutions.
Okay. How did your views evolve after leaving the Nation of Islam and making the pilgrimage to Mecca?
My pilgrimage to Mecca transformed my worldview. It broadened my understanding of Islam and humanity, leading me to adopt a more inclusive perspective.
Your speeches are known for a passionate and often controversial rhetoric. What was your message you aimed to convey during those speeches?
My speeches were meant to awaken Black Americans to the harsh realities of systemic racism and to inspire them to take control of their lives.
Okay. What was your perspective on nonviolent civil rights activism led by figures like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.?
I respected the nonviolent approach advocated by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but I believe in the right to self-defense that Black people should be prepared to protect themselves.
Okay. Can you discuss your opinion on the use of violence as a means to achieve social and political change?
I believe in self-defense, but I don't advocate violence as a first resort. I saw it as a reaction to violence and injustice that had been imposed on Black people for centuries.
Okay. What role did you see for African Americans in the border struggle for civil rights during the 1960s?
African Americans had a crucial role to play in the border struggle for civil rights, but I believe in the need for Black self-empowerment and self-determination.
You famously said, by any means necessary. Could you elaborate on the philosophy behind that statement?
By any means necessary, encapsulated in my belief that Black people should be prepared to protect themselves and secure their rights, whether through nonviolence or self-defense.
How did your early life experiences within racism and criminal activities shape your journey towards activism?
My early experiences with racism and criminal activities were a product of my environment, but they also serve as a catalyst for my transformation.
What was your relationship with other civil rights leaders and organizations, and how did it evolve over time?
My relationship with other civil rights leaders and organizations was often complicated. I had strong disagreements with the mainstream civil rights movement's tactics.
Okay. Can you share your thoughts on the concept of black nationalism and its place in the fight for civil rights?
Black nationalism, as I saw it, was a path to Black empowerment and the creation of a separate Black state within the United States.
Okay. How did your experiences with racism in person impact your outlook and beliefs?
My time in prison allowed me to educate myself and become politically aware, which was a turning point in my life.
Okay. Could you provide insights into your thoughts on economic empowerment and self-sufficiency for Black communities?
Economic empowerment and self sufficiency were crucial, and I believe that Black people should build their own businesses and institutions.
Okay. What are some of the most significant challenges and threats you faced during your activism? All right.
Challenges and threats were a constant in my life. I knew I was a target due to my beliefs and activism.
What are the key moments and turning points in your life, such as your conversion to Islam or your break from the Nation of Islam?
Key moments in my life included my conversion to Islam and my eventual break from the Nation of Islam, which marked a significant ideological shift.
How do you think your legacy has influenced subsequent generations and the Black Lives?
My legacy has influenced subsequent generations by challenging the status quo and advocating for Black pride and self improvement. The Black Lives Matter movement carries some of those principles.
Can you reflect on the impact of your autobiography, written with Alex Haley, on your message and legacy?
The autobiography I co wrote with Alex Haley served to provide a first hand account of my journey and beliefs, which continue to resonate with many.
What advice would you give to young activists today who are fighting for racial equality and justice?
To the young activists today, I would say educate yourself, stay true to your principles, and be willing to question the status quo.
Looking back, is there anything you would have done differently in your journey as a civil rights leader?
Looking back, I don't regret many of my beliefs or my involvement. I believed in what I stood for and was committed to the cause of Black empowerment and justice.
Thank you for coming out, Malcolm X. Thank you
Thank
for
you for
sharing your
having
story
me.
and everything. So in conclusion, as you tell, Malcolm X was a great leader in the civil rights movement, and he made a lot of the ideals, and he pushed a lot of unity within the Black community. Even though his ideals were very controversial, since he believed in fighting back with violence and not being as peaceful, and that he thought peaceful was being a weakness, he was still a very passionate leader and a very inspirational leader to many of the Black community, because he pushed unity within the Black community and being kind of strong and not backing down from what you believe in. And that's what people believed in him, and what stuck with a lot of people, and is why he's still such a great inspiration to a lot of the community.